Good evening, my name is Carlo, and together with my colleague,
Michaela.
we'll be presenting you the breaking news. More people without a safe home, UN decision-making there worse for the refugees. UN closed more doors for the people of the Middle East and Africa with a decision made today at the UNHCR meeting. As the UN High Commissioner for Refugees said, around 1.90 million refugees, including a large number of Syrians, will have to be deployed to other countries in 2017.
In only 2 years, the number of refugees to be handled has increased by 72%, and that number is still growing. More than 1.19 million countryless people will have to migrate again, but there is no information about their final destination.
This morning, after the meeting of UN Nation, our journalist Dragana Joksimovic tried to get a statement from the UN High Commissioner.
Excuse me, can we have a comment? Can we get a comment? No. Give us a comment about the crisis. Why don't you have a comment? Give us a comment about the crisis.
We're doing the best to solve the problem, so that's all.
We are waiting for the press conference to ask more follow-up questions about the topic. Our journalist Pedro Gonçalves took the streets of Berlin to ask some locals about their opinion of the topic.
What do you think about the Syrian crisis?
I was really shocked when I heard the news because it is horrible what is happening in their country and in their life.
And would you help with food or home if you could do?
Of course, these days I was looking for something if I can to donate or give some money to them. I would like to do it.
And there are humans, we are all humans. We should to have the chance to live as free humans without being afraid of death.
Furthermore, we got in touch with a refugee who accepted to talk with us about the problem.
Warning, the video may affect sensitive viewers.
I left my country with my family because of many wars that took place there. He had no choice. Everyone from my country, friends, family, neighbors are fighting this. We want a better place for our children, and the country we grow up in is no longer beneficial for our kids. My daughter is no understanding. We had to run from so many days. Her brother too small to realize the sacrifice we did for them. But we hope in the future they will have a better life. That we did a life where they can be free.
From unofficial sources, we heard that the officials are about to meet again. We are waiting for the press conference to confirm that information. Thank you for your attention. Stay tuned.
For the moment, LMC is continuing with the weather forecast. Have a good evening.
Terra Nostra TV.
Good evening and welcome to today's TNTV News. My name is Diana and I'm here to present you the latest problem that our country is facing. Almost 2 million of refugees are soon going to enter our country. The number has increased by 72% since 2014. Can we welcome that amount of refugees? Our community is dealing with an incapacity of relocating and receiving all these people. What kind of problems are we going to face? What kind of criminal records are they having? What about diseases? Do we have enough jobs for them? Let's see what our society thinks.
I'm very concerned about these strange people coming here, taking our jobs, our security. I don't know if they are like terrorists.
I really don't like the idea that so many people are coming here. It means we have to feed them, we have to give them places to live, we have to give them jobs, and the state isn't in such a good situation right now anyway, so just adding all those people will make more problems.
Let's think about the taxes and the fees we are going to have to pay for educating them, for making them papers and IDs. Aren't we better using those money to our public health? Let's see what our politicians have to say about it.
We'll take our army with our forces and we put them on trucks and put them out of the border.
Okay, but what if they insist? What if there will be a riot?
Well, we'll have our soldiers to be more nasty to them and violence. And if we have to use guns, we use guns. And we want them to not be here in our country.
TNTV is going to be your source of information for this matter. Stay with us and see you tomorrow for the news.
Breaking news. Big protest because of Trump's order. People from 7 Muslim majority countries won't be able to enter USA for the next 4 months, says President Donald Trump.
Refugees are a big problem. They can damage our economy. They don't work, they are criminals. They are rapists and we don't need them in USA.
The decision caused them to stay in the airports without any conditions, food, and without knowing where to go. Our journalist, Dragana Yuksimovic, went to the airport and spoke to them.
What do you think about the decision?
It was a horrible decision. Trump forgot that we are also humans and we also have rights.
And what are you going to do now?
What can we do? We barely have places to stay. You want us to do something about it?
How long have you been waiting to settle in a new homeland?
Too much time.
After long and hard fights and protests from civil rights and faith groups, this case was taken to the federal judge in Brooklyn, New York, although the court action doesn't receive Trump's order.
Terra Nostra TV.
Good evening, we have breaking news on TNTV. Donald Trump just signed Friday an order to ban all the Muslims from this country, while Canada welcomes all of them. Donald Trump signed Friday an executive order to ban travelers from Syria, Iraq and other Muslim countries. This order is only for 120 days, but the president says it wants to be permanent. His voters are actually happy about it because they said that they voted for Trump to ban the tsunami of Muslims. 9/11 was a really hard day for us. We don't want to live that again, said one of the voters.
It feels like people forgot who are responsible for the events and the terror attack and 9/11, and I'm really afraid, so I agree with Trump. I think this is a great idea.
The US is the only country that had the courage to ban the Muslims from its country, even though Europe is facing more problems than the USA. We want to remember you that only in France, in 1 year, there were 8 attacks, killing more than 200 people. While America is banning the refugees, Canada is welcoming them. But is Canada safe? Let's just remember that 1 year ago they deadly shot a terrorist by attacking the city Ontario. Let's see what the senator from America has to say about it.
We cannot allow people to cross the borders. The country's first priority is safety and safety for all of our citizens. We cannot allow ourselves to waste resources and outside issues. It's putting their citizens off of risk, and I'm surprised and suspicious because of these decisions, and I have no comments.
One of our sources just sent us an incredible video and photos from an incident that happened in Canada 2 days ago.
Hey!
What's next for our country? Does our president is going to take example from Canada or from the USA? Stay tuned on TNTV for more information.
Good evening, I'm Carlo and today I'm with you. We want to start by the kids that can't express themselves anymore. The Minister of Education officially announced that he is intending to introduce the mandatory uniforms in schools. Many children and parents against the minister's decision, and they are uniting in a public debate today to fight for the freedom of expressing themselves. Martha Johnson is now with us in the studio. She's a teacher from the Oxford High School, and she's going to tell us her opinion about this and the petition that the Union of Students sent to the minister. Martha, it's a pleasure to have with us here.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm glad to be here with you today. Indeed, the recently news had a big impact in our college. Thousands of students are against this idea and they decide to create the petition. For me, as a teacher point of view, many kids are suffering of loneliness and lack of communication with community. They love to express themselves, especially by their own style.
Thank you for your words, Mrs. Martha Johnson. We are now continuing with the story behind the school's walls.
What do you think about mandatory uniforms in schools?
I'm very angry with this decision because my friend always loved to wear different clothes that express who we are or old feeling and modes.
What are you wearing today and what does it mean?
Well, see this. This is the last gift from my grandma before she passed away. When I wear it and she is bringing me luck. So it's the very special for my and I always wear it as I'm feeling uncertain.
What do you think about mandatory uniforms in school?
We are not a rich family. I work 12 hours per day to give my children a comfortable life, and honestly, I can't afford now to buy other clothes for my children because of some mandatory decision. They already have their house style and I don't agree with this.
What is your opinion about private schools that already have mandatory uniforms?
I think the students are being reasoned to have no personality. You can make no difference between them. I feel like they are closing the kids' horizon.
We hope we can have more information about after-school debate. We are continuing now with another breaking news. Starbucks fighting Donald Trump's decision. After the Donald Trump anti-immigration command that we have been following the last day, the world popular coffee chain Starbucks announced that they will employ 10,000 refugees around the world over the next 5 years. Our trained journalist is now in the Central Starbucks Coffee in New York. Michael, can you hear us?
Good evening, Carlo. Yes, we can hear you. I'm in the Central Starbucks from New York. As you can see, every day there is a lot of people who come to the biggest coffee chain in the world. And it has a lot of influence in people's life and opinion all over the globe. Now we are going to have some words with the general manager, Mr. Robert Frankfurt. So, where did this decision come from?
In Starbucks community, we always welcome everyone. It doesn't matter your religion, it doesn't matter your skin tone or even your culture. We'll always welcome you with open arms. So when we heard this news about the refugees, we had a concept to came up with something to help all these families. And this was the idea that we came up with.
Did you ever hire refugees in your company?
Oh yeah, we have hired a group of refugees a few months ago back in Europe, and they are the best workers there. They always receive everyone with a smile on their face.
Thank you for your words, Mr. Frankfurt.
Thank you.
So we are finishing here. It's good to see that we can have a place like this where many people from different cultures can reunite and be happy talking to each other and drinking their coffee. I'm Michael and this is LMC from Starbucks. Back to you, Carlo.
These were the news for today. Thank you for watching. We are meeting again at Tomorrow News. Have a good evening.
Nostra TV.
Good evening and welcome to TN News. The first issue of today is Starbucks. In the US, Starbucks is hiring 10,000 refugees in the next 5 years in a response to the anti-immigration protests and the president's decision. Other companies are accepting this and adopt this decision as well. For that, the unemployment rate is going down. You can see on the screen the latest charts published by the Minister of Economic. Let's see what the Minister of Public Security has to say about this issue.
Statistics show that the employment rate is falling down, production is slowing down. Some reports state an increase in disease. Our prediction is that statistic will be the worst recorded in the last 30 years if companies keep hiring refugees.
The Starbucks cafeterias are now empty. People don't like to be served by refugees. They are scared for their health and for their dirty works. Next on the news, it's about the Minister of Education trying to implement uniforms in schools. In the letter addressed, the Minister underlined the importance of the uniforms in promote equality and making the students feel safe. We spoke to the director of the National College of Berlin. What about the school's position?
It would take a burden off the parents' shoulders. They don't need to think anymore what the children will wear. They don't need to buy any more clothes because, you know, children, they ruin clothes every day. And then there's obviously this thing that they are all seen equal.
We interrupt this news because my colleagues from San Francisco are calling. Liora, can you hear me?
Yeah, Diana, I'm here. Hello, listeners. I'm in San Francisco at the refugee camp. I want to show you how they living here and how the life is terrible here and like.
We are sorry for this. I'm hoping that my colleagues are okay. See, people, this is what is happening when strange people are coming into our country. They are starting fights. They are starting to get over control. See you tomorrow with new news.
Good evening, my name is Vana Wojchenko and I will be presenting you the breaking news. Canada's Prime Minister welcomes the refugees, saving them from the Trump's orders. After all the protests and chaos in the US because of the Trump's order, the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, declared in a press conference that he is welcoming all the refugees that couldn't get access to the US, and he promised to find everyone a safety home.
After all news that you must have heard, I want to say that Canada is welcoming all the refugees that are stranded in the airport. Canada is made on the principle of human rights, and we aren't going to let anyone behind.
Thousands of refugees are now thankfully happy due to the Prime Minister's kindness.
Thank you, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. You are giving me, my child and my children a new life. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being with us today and have a good evening.
Terra Nostra TV.
Good evening and welcome to the last edition of TN News. Today's topic is organic genetic modified food, as the Minister of Health called for a public debate on this matter. There are scientists who can assure you that a GMO food is completely safe. However, the Institute of Responsible Technology published on its website a list of reasons why GMO food should not be promoted. If you're a businessman, you're probably thinking that this is the best way to make profit and to work less. But many people are now avoiding GMO foods because of the changes it causes on their health. We got the Minister of Public Health to share her opinion.
We must not forget that companies' first priority is profit. We have to be careful about what we consume. Large companies can easily sell us harmful food as long as it puts money in their pockets. I personally prefer natural food without any processing.
One of the Nobel Prize winners accepted to talk about the changes that eating GMO foods are causing our system.
GMO are artificial made by humans. There is still research going on and we are not sure what are the side effects. One way or another, natural food can provide us all nutrition we need. Moreover, GMOs can develop mutations and harm people who consume it. We should just eat whatever nature provides us.
This is all from TNTV News. We were your only source of information on all the problems that our country faced. It was my pleasure to be your host, but nothing would have been possible without the amazing team I had. I would like to thank Claudia, Milan, Igor, Ivu, Andrea, Eduardo, Alisa, Liora, Anna, Elena, Lev, Elena, Julia, for their amazing work and support. For the last time, stay safe. Good night.